Hello, this is Lissa Friedman. I'm the founder of the Enneagram School of Awakening, and this is the second video in this series. So this is a series that I'm doing to describe, demonstrate the energetics of the types and the energetics of the Enneagram in general. And I'm going to be embodying them. So we call this the embodiment tradition. And in the first video, I explained where that all began. This time I want to talk generally about these energies, and then in the next 9 or so, I will demonstrate each one specifically. But so in general, there are 3 ways that the energies move in these types. There are 3 types where the energy actually moves outward towards you. There are 3 types where the energy moves back in an internal way. And there are 3 types that are adapting, kind of moving, shifting. And some of them are a little tricky, so I'll try to go into that as well. The 3 types that are outward moving are 2, 7, and 8. And that might be maybe more obvious to some of you around 7 and 8, but the 2 also does that. So we have 2 moving outward from the heart, 7 moving outward from the head, and 8 moving outward from the body. Now, what exactly does that mean? It isn't good or bad. It's just that energetically, these patterns move, the energy moves out towards you. So when you look at 2, you'll see an energy moving towards you, and the inner experience of the 2 is that they are making a heart connection with you. Sometimes they're obviously not aware of it, but they are drawn to you and they're making connection. Certainly, if there's some sort of emotional disturbance, that is like a magnet for the 2, and the 2 will be drawn right to it. The 7 is moving outward from the head. Oh my God, all these exciting ideas and all these things to do. And so this excitement moving towards you, sometimes just explaining, wow, this is amazing. I can't wait to do this. And I want to do it with you. You should be excited too. So sometimes it's just expressing their excitement, and sometimes it's to engage you so that you want to be excited too. The 8 energy sometimes is very still inside. I shouldn't say still, but sometimes it's contained inside the person. This power, this strength, it contained in there. But the energy, even if they were sitting still, just listening to a lecture or something like that, the energy is going to feel to everybody around them. If you're at all sensitive, it's almost like ripples of energy coming off that person's body, coming out into the room or towards you. And certainly if there's some reason why they're engaged in it, something has happened, something that calls their attention, maybe something wrong and bad, or the potential for that, they are drawn to that, and their energy big will come to that to meet it. So those are those 3. The types where the energy moves inward are 1, 4, and 5. And the 1 and the 4 are actually a little tricky. So I'll talk about 5 first, and then we'll talk about 4 and 1. So 5, head point, head, fear, and they're using their mind to feel safe. So the energy draws back and in. And they are living back in here. A whole world of energy happening here. And out here, I would like to be invisible. So I would like my energy to be as little as possible coming outward, so that people are not attracted to this ultimately, yes, they would like to have to be seen, but that's for a later date, and um, we'll see if we even touch that. But inward, and deep into the mind it goes, and their energy really does move back, and it makes them kind of still and quiet and invisible. The four energy is heart. And that all that emotion is going into me. Mine is in me. I live in my energy. I live in my emotions. And all the emotions from outside, because I do not filter it, goes into me. Now, a misconception I have heard is that they are sucking energy in. Trust me, they're not doing that. It's just that they're not filtering, so that all that energy, emotional energy, goes into them and mixes with their own emotional energy deep inside them. Now, they are misunderstood some this way because they can be very expressive, and usually fours are expressive, sometimes expressing their deep emotionality, but in general they tend to be kind of artistic, creative, expressive people. That looks like the energy is moving outward, but it's not really. The emotional energy is not moving towards you. That is a weight, a heavy weight inside themselves. And then they are also expressive. So there's a little difference there. The one is a little trickier too, because I actually think that the energy of gut instinct is moving in and out at the same time. So the energy of one, if you think of that kind of coiled energetic that is holding them really up straight and is holding them that way so they can monitor everything that's going on inside them, because they don't want to get it wrong. And that's the simple explanation is much more complicated than that. So at any rate, they're kind of teetering right on the edge of in and out. They're noticing the things that are not quite appropriate or right on the outside, and they're noticing the things that are not quite appropriate or right on the inside, and they're sitting right in the middle, teetering on, is it in or out? Is it in or out? Which one? And actually, they're just sort of kind of, I don't know if you can see me moving back and forth, but there's kind of like a movement like that energetically. I'm not saying that people with this one pattern are kind of tipping back and forth, but energetically they are as they monitor. So that's the inward moving. Okay, the core points, I think, are the energetically the most difficult to understand. If when you read the literature on the Enneagram, you'll see that 3, 6, and 9 are all avoiding something. They're all moving away from either it's fear or sensitive emotions or anger. And they, yes, in a sense they are, but what are they doing? What are they doing? They're trying to be safe, stable, okay, right in the center. So they are they're the middle point of each of the triads. So if we'll look at the gut points first, 8, 9, and 1. And 9 sits right in the middle of that triad. It is about doing and managing anger and managing power. So 9 sits right in the middle, and we say they're avoiding, and yes, they are. But how do they avoid? And what are they avoiding? Of course, they're avoiding anger, power, intensity. So they're avoiding that. It feels like overwhelming or too much for them. So they're sitting there right in the middle. And some really intense emotion comes at them, and they move over a little bit. If it's not intense enough, they try to intensify it a little bit more. So there's a leaning and balancing. They're harmonizing. They're balancing things. They're managing this so that if someone's expressing something that is too down, they'll bring it up. If it's too up, they bring it down. It's leveling it, it's managing it, it's neutralizing it, it's making harmony wherever they go. So they are adapting. And so they lean towards sometimes an energy and they move away from it sometimes. So there is a kind of a shifting. The three, a very different thing, right? So the three is also misunderstood because they may be seen as energies that are moving outward because of the confidence that they have. That's part of the three pattern. But a three is a heart point, and they're looking for validation. So they are moving, they're going to move into and toward and away from in order to become validated. So, okay, so now I'm with somebody who really loves and appreciates something, this thing, and I move towards it and show them, yes, I am also excited about this and interested in this, and I'll show you how I do this. And then there's another person who says, oh, but what I really value is something else. And so I'm going to move in that direction now and show you that I know all about that. So we call it the chameleon. And that's because they are always adapting to what seems like will give them a sense that they are valued based on what other people value. Okay. So then we have the head point, which is 6. And 6 wants to be safe. So they are adapting. So they might keep to themselves their opinions, what they believe and think, so that they will feel safe. So they may be around people who are expressing very strongly an opinion about, I don't know what, something. It could even be something simple, like a movie they saw. They're expressing something very strong about it. Either this person will become quiet or they'll meet them. Oh, yes, I understand why you think that. Inside, they know what they think. And they don't really agree with them. But they're going to keep that inside and adapt here. Somebody else might say, well, no, I completely, deeply disagree with that. I think it's this. I'm going to find with this 6 pattern, I'm going to adapt here. And yes, I understand that. I get that. Yes, that might be true. I want to be safe. So there's this adapting thing going on with 3, 6, 9. And that's hard to recognize because when they're adapting in a certain way, they may look more inward, they may look more outward, depending on how they're adapting. But when you notice that they change, from moment to moment or day to day, oh, I thought you felt strongly about this. Oh, no, I don't. Maybe I did, but maybe that changed. So another way to look at energies is the energy of the 3 centers, just in general. And you can't see me, I'm making a motion around my gut. So the energy in the head points are all gathering information from their mind, what they perceive, what they think. They're gathering data in here. And so there's going to be an attention where the energy is up here. And when you speak to them and ask them maybe something simple like, gee, how do you feel about that? They're going to look up and as if the information about how I think about something lives up in the air up here. And they have to kind of pluck the idea out of the air. And then they may say, oh, yes, I have a lot of thoughts about that. So there's the attention goes up here, and the eyes are very active and alive in that 5, 6, 7, the head points. Heart points, 2, 3, 4. So heart is not as easy to see, except that you know they're not up here in their head and they're not deep in their body. They are kind of coming at you directly from their heart, as if the eyes are coming at you from here. So there's going to be more of a, I'm speaking to you directly. And then there's the heartful sense about it. Even the three, which is avoiding all that, still has, there's like this open chest, as if, and it may seem empty in here, but it's like I'm coming from my heart area. And then the gut points, 1, 8, and 9. So the 1, the gut gets really tight, but they still will look in. They will still look into it. 9, it's softer and more relaxed, and the eyes are vague, and the energy is not right here, and it's not right here, and it's more weighted down, which makes you move more slowly, words go more slowly, more meandering stories. And then the 8 is in the gut, like there's a fire in that belly that it literally, there's a fire in there that is raging throughout their whole body, so that it is always strong, always strong. And even if it is reclining, it is strong. And so that is the energy truly in the gut as a fire. And just a little bit about subtypes, because that's a very complicated thing. So we have self-preservation, which is me. And so there's going to be a little bit more weightedness down in the, like the hips and the thighs, a little bit literally, physically, usually a little more weight down there. And the energy is more weighted down there. And there's a sense of energy that is more contained within me and about me. And social has more presence and is expansively looking out. Not necessarily me, not necessarily you, but kind of like that big peripheral vision of expansively looking out. And then the intimate laser connection. I'm connecting to you with my eyes. I am connecting to you because I'm attracted. It doesn't mean I'm sexually attracted, but I am attracted to you. So generally, that's the overview of the energetics that I'm going to be talking about in the next many sessions. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope you really enjoyed this. I'm enjoying it, and I look forward to doing more. Oh, also, check out the website, EnneagramSchoolOfAwakening.com. Right now, I think you have to get to it a little bit more indirectly, like any Enneagram Awakening School, but it's about to change. You'll get to it. So I will see you again really soon.